Hear me out. I think Captain Sisko just created a Star Trek wormhole. When Star Trek fans think of wormholes, the first image that springs to mind is the swirling, celestial tunnel that anchored Deep Space Nine. It was the signature backdrop of Benjamin Sisko's posting at the edge of Federation space and the pivot point for decades of Baron prophecy, Dominion war strategy, and Sisko's own spiritual arc. But a recent episode has reignited debate among Trekkies. Did Captain Sisko just create a brand new wormhole, one not foretold by prophets or scientific happenstance, but deliberately engineered by the emissary himself? Hear me out. Sisko's wormhole legacy. From the very first episode of DS9, Sisko was inseparable from wormhole lore. The Byron Celestial Temple wasn't simply a scientific anomaly. It was also the residence of timeless aliens whom Bjorns revered as prophets. Sisko's role as the emissary allowed him to exist at the crossroads of science and faith. While he initially resisted the title, he eventually embraced it, shaping his decisions as both a Starfleet officer and a spiritual figure. But the Deep Space Nine wormhole wasn't Sisko's creation. It was pre-existing, discovered accidentally by a Federation crew. Sisko was its steward, not its architect. For years, Star Trek used wormholes as shortcuts or mysteries. Natural rifts in space-time, the result of cosmic forces, unstable energy, or ancient alien tech. Even the prophet's wormhole fit the mold, albeit with a religious overlay. So the idea of Sisko creating a wormhole isn't just a twist, it's a tectonic shift for the franchise's canon. The episode that sparked the theory. In the most recent storyline, let's call it The Reckoning Part 2, Sisko faces a catastrophic spatial event near the Gamma Quadrant. A collapsing subspace corridor threatens to trap multiple ships. Rather than evacuate, Sisko orchestrates a daring maneuver using a deflector pulse, the station's rebuilt graviton matrix, and what looks like a cryptic blessing from the prophets. The result? A stable corridor forms, linking two star systems across a staggering distance. Starfleet calls it a temporary transwarp channel. Byron scholars whisper something else. A second celestial temple. The scene is ambiguous. The dialogue never flat out says wormhole, but the visuals, the same spiraling blue-white funnel effect seen since DS9's pilot, are unmistakable. This wasn't an accident. Sisko deliberately triggered it, blending Federation tech with a metaphysical push from his alien patrons. Why this matters? If the theory holds, Star Trek has just crossed a new frontier. Wormholes have always been found, not made. The Federation's dream of creating its own stable shortcuts across the galaxy has been a long-standing impossibility, a holy grail of warp-era science. Remember the Barzan wormhole fiasco in The Next Generation? It was unstable, unreliable, and ultimately useless for large-scale travel. Starfleet's inability to replicate such phenomena has been baked into the franchise for decades. But Sisko is not just a Starfleet officer. By the time DS9 ended, he had become something more, a being who walks between linear time and the prophet's timeless existence. If anyone could create a wormhole, it would be the emissary. And if that's what we just witnessed, then Star Trek's map just changed forever. The science-faith fusion. What makes the moment so compelling is its thematic resonance. Throughout Deep Space Nine, Sisko's arc wasn't about choosing between Starfleet science and Byron's spirituality. It was about reconciling them. He was a builder of starships and a reader of prophecies, a skeptic and a believer, creating a wormhole by combining Federation technology with a prophet-assisted temporal alignment feels like the culmination of that journey. This also mirrors a broader trend in Star Trek storytelling. In the 1990s, the franchise leaned hard on technobabble to solve problems. By contrast, modern Trek likes mythic overtones. Burnham as the Red Angel in Discovery, the shepherds of the Hyperfield in Picard. Sisko's wormhole blends both, a pseudo-scientific experiment infused with a metaphysical push. Potential consequences for the galaxy. If the wormhole is real and stable, Starfleet now has a game-changing corridor. It could restore connections lost after the burn in Discovery's far future or create strategic advantages in ongoing conflicts. Bajor would once again become a cosmic crossroads. Entire economies, trade routes, and tactical doctrines would shift overnight. There's also a theological dimension. The Byron faith is built around a singular celestial temple. A second wormhole, one clearly linked to the emissary, could splinter belief systems. Is Sisko now more than an emissary? Is he a creator? Star Trek rarely dives deep into the religious consequences of its cosmic events, but this one practically begs for a storyline exploring how Bajorans react. Skeptics weigh in. Of course, some fans think we're overanalyzing. Maybe what Sisko created was simply a subspace tunnel, a temporary byproduct of an exotic energy burst, not a true wormhole. Starfleet's technobabble in the episode leaves room for that interpretation, but the fact that the visual language, the score, and even Kira's odd expression echo DS9's pilot can't be